Alright, we're live up in this bitch. It's the Dynasty Football League, Madden 20. Alright, I'm just going to let everybody know what I need and what I'm going to need and require out of all owners. But first, I want to hit you. If it goes well, I will be running the league live. It's fantasy draft today at 5 o'clock Eastern time, as I hold up my number 5 on my right hand like an idiot, like y'all can see me. 5 o'clock Eastern today, and it is currently, 2 o'clock. So in 3 hours time, I am going to be running the fantasy draft where we're going to allow the computer to randomly select all our team players. Now, before we get to that, that leads me to the point of this video. Here's what I need from every single one of you owners. Before we allow the computer to select our teams, I need you to set up your schemes. So, if you go into My Coach and you set up your scheme, I will go through this so you guys can contact me with what you want. You get the multiple power run as an option. Just ignore the stuff on the right-hand side where it says scheme fit and stuff and what's on the roster, whatever. It's not a big fucking deal. But at the top under there, multiple power run, you can see the multiple power scheme. Uses traditional pooling linemen and lead blockers. In the run game, to grind through defenses, a equally field general QB helps convert critical third and short situations. I will stop on each one just so you guys have enough time to read that little bit. So you know what's going on. I don't know enough about football to know what each scheme means. So that's your vertical power run. I'm sure you guys read that. Then you got your spread. How we're going to do that. The scrambling quarterback. Then you got the run and shoot. Because I know whatever your schemes are, it's going to affect the draft situation. I already know this is going to happen. Then you got your air raid. That one should be self-explanatory. You know you're going to need a big quarterback and a whole bunch of fucking wide receivers. So yeah, then you got the pistol. One of my favorite offenses. One of my favorite things I like to use, I'm not going to lie. And you got the West Coast spread. So that's cool. Then you got the West Coast zone run. That's right there. For example, offensive linemen use quickness and combination blocks to spring halfbacks through gaps. The game's not going to pick slow fucking power linemen. They're going to pick those quick, nimble, with enough power linemen, enough to hold a block open. So that's what I want us to be able to get. You know, the West Coast power run. So there's that one. I'm sure you guys can read that. And then the vertical zone run. I forget even where I started at with this. So that's your vertical zone. Multiple zone. Oh, multiple power. There you go. That was where we started, multiple power. Now, the disguise 3-4. So there's your disguise 3-4 and what's going on. Then you got your 3-4 storm. Speed up front. An example again. I need the draft to select what you're going to do. Then you got the 4-3 cover 3. Beautiful. Then your 4-6 defense. Base 4-3. And you got the 4-3 under. And see, it gives you flexibility. because it'll turn into a 3-4. It can turn into a 5-2. You can get that out of the 4-3 unders. It states right there in its slight description. Then you got your and there's your 3-4 under. Then you got your Tampa 2. Then your quarters 4-3, which is different. It's pretty much the cover 4, and it states there that there. Yes, it does. Quarters often has a cover 4. Then back to this. Now, I need you to pick those that you want with those two things. Then you got your offensive playbook and your defensive playbook. If you would like to select an individual playbook as well as the scheme, you may. And then when it comes to these individual playbooks, you are picking the playbook of a coach. So if you forget the coach's name for whatever reason, you can just tell me which team playbook you want to go along with your scheme. If you don't care about the scheme, I'll leave them alone, and you got what you got, and we'll rock it. I need everybody to let me know, and this is short notice, I know, but I need everybody to let me know before 5 o'clock. Because when I run this shit at 5 o'clock, I need to make sure the draft and that computer, when it sims it, knows this is the schemes, and it will draft to fit the scheme. That's what it's going to do. It will draft to fit the scheme. So let me know what you want to do. I will take it from there. And in the meantime, I'm probably just going to let you know. Now, I'm going to back out of here, and you guys can see what I did. If I hit the R3 button, it takes me over here. Here you got the owners. I'm going to go all the way to the top. They're in alpha order. CPU Bears. That's a CPU team. It's the Bears. Alex Darr will be running this team. Just ignore the real team name because they're all relocating. Then we've got Chris Davis. There's Drew Ritter, Ed Ritter, CPU. Matt Schaub's got the Chargers. Marcus Bose got the Chiefs. Austin Moomaw there, CPU. There's Taco, CPU. There's myself, Scott Kimball, CPU. CJ Coates, Thomas Schmaganovich, CPU. There's Kyle Long, CPU. There's Dwayne Ritter, Bryce Kimball, Thomas W. Goodhart, and a CPU. Once I go through this and do the fantasy draft, we are going to sim through the first season. At that point, any of these CPU teams, I will then be able to go into those teams and I will release key players to the free agent pool for everybody to make a bid on. The first season, when it simulates, will show these current teams next to us as the teams and the Super Bowl winner, and it has nothing to do with these owners. I'm letting you guys know that now. It has nothing to do with these owners. Plain and simple, over, done, kaputsk. It'll be when we actually relocate. If any of you also have a preference on which uniform you get, make sure you are live with me when I advance things. Because if you have a particular preference when it's my turn to come through your team and move your team, you can. I'm also going to let everybody know now, there's 4 stadiums you can select. And that was traditional, futuristic, hybrid, and canopy. I took it upon myself to write down all 4 names, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I brought a dice out and I rolled the dice. I gave each stadium to each division. So there's 4 teams with futuristics, there's 4 teams with traditionals, 4 teams with hybrids, and 4 teams with the canopy. And it was all luck of the random, roll the dice, if you will. So this way we don't have 15 futuristics, 1 traditional, 8 hybrids, and I just wanted to even smooth them out. So we got 1 in each division. So in the North, the team of the Chicago Cougars, that's who they're going to be. They will be futuristic. The Brooklyn Beats have traditional. The Toronto Mounties have a hybrid. And the Columbus Aviators will be canopy. In the South, San Antonio Express, hybrid. Austin Desperados, traditional. Houston Gunners, canopy. Oklahoma City Nighthawks, futuristic. Dublin Shamrocks in the East, traditional. London Black Knights, futuristic. The Memphis Hounds, hybrid. And the Orlando Sentinels will be canopy. And in the West, the Portland Riverhogs, traditional. San Diego Crusaders, futuristic. Sacramento Redwoods, hybrid. And the Salt Lake City Pioneers are canopy. So that's how we're going to do it. Now remember, 5 o'clock, I am going live with the fantasy draft. And like I said, if I go here, I can't add any more owners because all 32 teams are taken. You know, I can go and click on a team and I can't change the owner. It is what it is. Anybody I click on, it's done. It's whatever. That's the only thing. It sucks. So, when one of these computer teams, if we would ever do 32, we'll just have to do a whole new league, so it's whatever. They will always be computer teams. So when I go here and say start your fantasy draft, I need everybody's playbooks in play. So I've actually know who some of these guys want because they brought it up to me beforehand. That's what made me think about doing it, and I should have thought about it to begin with. So get in touch with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know right away. You got before 5. Those who don't tell me, you get stuck with the default with your team, and that's how you're going to roll, and that's how you're going to rock. So hopefully you set your playbooks up accordingly. All right, I'm out of here. Going to go get things done I need to get done before we do what we got to do at 5 o'clock. Should be fun. I'll see you then. Later.